Everybody, welcome to Masterclass. I'm in a different location. Because normally I'm over there, but now I'm over here, and guess what? I'm only going to give you one guess, actually. Guess what? I'm going to be demonstrating. Unfortunately, poor Jan has really been struggling this morning, and she has gone home. She's a little bit poorly. Nothing to worry about. She's got a nasty cold, but obviously none of us want it, so we suggested that maybe she goes home and rest. So we're sending all our love to Jan, and I've just realised I've left my phone over there, which has got any of the comments. I'm just going over there to grab my phone. So it's going to be me, and it's going to be a slightly shorter show because we did not want to inflict you with me for 2 whole hours. So it's only going to be an hour-long show. But I'll try and do what I can. I'll try and answer any questions that you might have. I'm just having a look to see who's in here now, because I will do my best. I'll hold my hand up. The prep that's been done for the demos is something that Jan's done, so I've seen it, but I've not demonstrated it before. So bear with me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Betty Rogers says, I love all Crafters Companion Masterclass tutorials. Possibly won't love this one. I'm going to try my best. Donna says, hello everyone from Florida. Roxanne says, hello fellow crafters from Wisconsin. Handcrafted by Gaz says, good afternoon Becky, CTV crew and our lovely social media superstar and all my crafty friends. Lois is here saying good morning everyone from Ohio. And Zoe Carver says, hello all. As I say, got any questions? Send them in. I'll do my very best to answer them. But it is just myself on this show today. But it is a masterclass, so I'm going to do what I can for you. Ben's going to come in a little bit later on, I think. Is that definite? Yeah, Ben's going to come in later on. So it's going to be a normal 2-hour show later on this evening. So it's going to be good because it's quite lonely over here. It's just me, in the voices in my head, Nicola. That's all I've got here. Jane is here as well saying hi everyone from Las Vegas. Good afternoon to you all and welcome. So today's masterclass is it's all going to be about, we're going to be doing just looking at my list, it's Christmas border dies and also the Christmas corner dies rather, and the floral sprays. So you saw them in Wake Up Call earlier on, and we've got a few different demos for you. We're going to start with the corners, I think. Let me just grab some samples of these. We saw some samples earlier on. These are a beautiful set of dies here. Really versatile. Having these smaller pieces, you've got 2 separate dies in each collection. They're slightly different. They complement each other, but you can use both of them together or separately. They make them really, really versatile. So there's a couple of samples to show you the type of things you can be using with them. Really pretty. This is that Candy Cane Lane down here in those beautiful kind of pastel colours. Looks totally different feel. We always seem to go with the red and green kind of traditional way of thinking about things, but we can think of them in a slightly different way. This one using that poinsettia, again very, very pretty, using our alcohol markers through these, using them as little embellishments on top of some of our beautiful paper pads. There's a nice easel card there. With some of those nesting dies. I think they were like almost like a Moroccan tile nesting die that you've got there. This one here, using that holly and the berries here. Again, very pretty. Using these, I think I've seen a few demonstrations where people have used these on boxes, which looks really spectacular. This one here, using with a little bit of craft card and that shadow at the bottom or behind in white, again looks really pretty. How about doing something all in white? Look at that. Wow, like that. That's really spectacular, isn't it? And that just goes to show you don't always have to use loads of colour. Sometimes something super simple just looks really beautiful, like kind of the kind of sort of traditionally iced Christmas cakes that you would get. A couple of other ones. This one using these in an aperture. That's really pretty, like that. Something a bit different in that. And I think that's the key thing. There's lots of ways you can use these different dies. Look at these for little, decorating those little cartons, those little boxes. Again, very, very pretty. So this collection is £32 or $43. Platinum price is £25.60 or $34.40. Should we get started with the demo? Yeah, why not? Oh, Lillian says, hi Becky, what a trooper. Hi everyone. Kelly says, thank you for taking over. Jane says, you'll be great. I'm glad you've all filled me with confidence. I'm sure it'll be fine. If it goes wrong, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. Right, so I am going to get all the bits and pieces out. So if you love the demos, it's because Jan's prepared them. That's all I'm going to say, because Jan has put these things together, and we had a quick chat before she left and went through what we're going to putting together today. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to be using these dies. These are the Christmas decor, I think they're called. I haven't got the package with me. These are the baubles or the ornaments. So you can see here you've got the die with that beautiful bow, first of all, and then you've got these hanging ornaments down here. And then down in this corner, you've got like a collection of large ornaments down here with a bit of foliage around in that corner. So these are the ones I'm going to be using for this first demo here. As always with our dies, they are there's a lot to them. There's a lot of metal work in them, which always makes them sort of really good value, and they're very sturdy. I remember buying dies from cheaper places, and they'd bend. As soon as you took them off the plastic, they would bend, but these are nice and sturdy. What we're going to be using is some of our mirrored card, and I'm just going to pop these two on here to cut those out of that mirrored card. Okay, right. Evelyn says, good morning from a beautiful Colorado. And Mary Beth says, hi everyone, joining from Minnesota. Becky, we will do fine. All right, I'll try. I'll do my best. I'll be fine. So we're going to use a little bit of our low tack tape. If you've watched me before doing papercraft, I'm heavy-handed with my low tack tape, and I'm sure it's related to the fact that when you use low tack tape with fabric, you'll be cutting multiple layers of fabric, so I tend to be a little bit heavy-handed with that. But that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to be using my outer plate, my mirrored card with the die facing downwards. I nearly called it fabric. And then frosted shim and magnetic shim over the top of that. And then our white plate over the top of that. And then just feed that into our machine. As I say, Jan will be, don't be worried about Jan, she will be fine. I think this time of year there's loads of sort of bugs and things going around, aren't there? I think everyone's hoping they're going to avoid any sort of illness that's going around. Okay, let's get rid of all those tiny little bits. These are quite intricate dies, so you do get very, very small, fine little pieces on them. So I'm just going to peel away my tape. It's funny how that low tack tape becomes high tack tape sometimes when you use it. It's all that pressure through the Gemini. Okay. And then, oh, that's cut. Oh, wow, how beautifully did that cut out. Look at that, absolutely stunning in that mirrored card. This one just needs a little bit of an enticement out of the die. Let's find that little gap that just pushes everything out. It's one of those things you never find when you're on live TV. I'll do what Debbie Fisher does. Has that helped? There we go. Perfect. That's over there. So you can see here, we've got that first one with those ornaments hanging down. And then we've got this one here. It's got a couple little bits to pop out, but cut beautifully. And that is the power of the machine, isn't it? It just cuts through those dies like a hot knife through butter. Whenever we say that, I think everybody thinks, oh, I really fancy a piece of toast now. I think over the last couple of days, when we've been doing lots of things on the glitter paste, every time that glitter paste is spread with a palette knife, everyone thinks, toast, glittery toast. Okay, so we've got our two pieces ready to use. Now we're going to start assembling our card. So we have here a 7x5 card blank, and we've got in here, so Jan's already done all of this for me. She's done a little piece inside, and she's used some of, I think it's a parakeet. I'm just going to try it out, see if it is a bit of parakeet on there. I think it's a parakeet ink that she's just put all the way around the edge. If it's not parakeet, then it is ocean blue, but I think it's more likely to be parakeet. It looks more sort of turquoisey to me than ocean blue. And she also made a piece of background paper using our water reactive inks. So again, I'm using Jan's prep here. What we've done is actually cut out those little pieces, those little sections from those two corners, and we're going to show you what we're going to be doing in just a second for that. And so we're going to start assembling our card. I'll pop this in the middle first of all, inside the card. So we just want that to be in here, like that. So a little bit of our tape pen. Let's have a look to see what messages are as we're going around. Tricia says, good morning, crafty friends. You've got this, Becky. I think you're getting used to saying this, aren't you? Valerie says, hello, Becky. You'll be just fine this morning doing solo. Clarice says, hello from South Carolina. Colin says, hi, Becky. Sorry, Jan is not feeling well. Hoping some rest and chicken soup and she'll feel better soon. No stress, Becky. It's just us and you always do a great job. Well, thank you. I'll remember. See? Tape pen. I'll remember, remind you when you say this at the end of the show. Yeah, I think chicken soup is the thing to go when you're not feeling well. That is what I have. Although I was chatting to Leanne yesterday, and we were saying when we feel that we've had a little bit too much to drink the next morning, our cure for staving off those ill feelings in the morning is cold pizza and Lucozade spores. And that is the thing that works. And I've mentioned that before, and lots of people go, oh, that sounds awful, but Leanne was with me. She agrees that's the right thing to go. So we've got a piece of black card here, and we've got some very dark teal card put on the back of here. The idea is that when we put this piece of background that we've made, you'll see that teal coming through, because we're actually going to be placing these silver pieces inside, but you're going to be able to see that nice kind of teal background in there. Lillian says, I had to have toast because of the glitter paste over the last couple of days. Yeah, it was funny, isn't it? Every time we did glitter paste, I was just thinking, oh yeah, I really fancy nice, you know, like swimming in butter kind of toast. Not your, you know, not your healthy toast, but you know, the white toast that's swimming in butter. That's what I fancied, definitely. Hopefully Jan will be having toast and chicken soup when she gets home. So we're just going to pop those 2 mats and layers on the top of here, and then we want to place that on here as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of tacky glue, so I make sure I do all these bits, or I can use a little bit of your dotty tape pen to make sure you secure all those pieces together. So we can do a little bit of mixture, so we can use a bit of a tape pen around here, across there, like that. And then you could use your dotty tape pen around these little pieces, or you can use your tacky glue. I might just carry on with the tape pen while we can. And then tacky glue around these little sections. Just be careful to make sure that you don't pull off any of those little bits and pieces. Jean says, Becky, you're quite the trooper. I would definitely want you on my team. I like it when you craft, by the way. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. I have to say, so normally my mum watches, and she's not watching today because she's moving house. So if you are watching, Mum, why are you not unpacking, is what I would say. But she's moved house, and my children and my husband are helping her move today. So in actual fact, I've lucked out because I'm here crafting and doing all these nice, fun things rather than lugging furniture up and down staircases. So I've timed that very well. Okay, so we've got those pieces here. Now, these pieces are the ones we cut out earlier. Jan has very handily popped these through the Xyron machine so they're sticky to make everything easier. So I'm just going to peel those away. But you could use tacky glue or your dotty tape pen to get these out of here. We've got, I'm just going to pull this one off. So this one is the one that's going to go up here with that little bow, and that one's going to go down at the bottom. Yeah, so let's pull this off and then fit them in. Might be better if I had a pair of tweezers. Let's pop those in there. They should fit perfectly into that gap. Oh, look at that. There we go. There's that one in that little corner, and then we'll take this one off and put that one in the other corner. Jane Adams says, I've made a huge pot of chicken noodle soup. Going to get shots after the show, or flu shots. Yeah, I was due to have my flu shot next week. I think I should make sure I do chicken soup. Chicken noodle soup is always my favourite. There we go. See how they fit perfectly in here, in that space. Now, Jan also had cut out some more, so I'm just giving these a little bit of rub to make sure all that glue comes off. And she'd cut them out with that pretty turquoise colour, so we can decorate the inside of the card as well. So we'll do that in just a moment too. We've also got a little sentiment to pop in round about here, and it finishes off the card very quickly, makes it look really spectacular having that background, and just really finishes it off with those little corner pieces. So we will pop that on in a moment. We'll just put these couple of pieces in here, because it seems a shame not to decorate the inside of the card. Now, Jan is a lady after my own heart, because I always think the inside of the card needs to be decorated. It's a little bit like the inside of a handbag. I like a nice lining in a handbag. I think that makes it look really spectacular and special. Or a nice lining in a jacket, when it's a bit of a surprise then. I like that too. So I'll pop this one just up here. And then this one down here. Lots of people sending Jan their best wishes. I'm sure she'll be absolutely fine. Just needs a little bit of a rest, I think. There we go. Let's turn those around, give them a little rub. And then we will take off the foam pad on here, and I think just around about, just make sure I line this up in the middle. There we go. Give that a bit there. There we go, and all done. Very simple, easy card to make using those really pretty little Christmas corner dies. And a great price for all of those, because you're getting 6 pieces, 6 packs in them. Each one of them has got 2 of those little dies in there, which makes it really sort of useful to have. And you can mix and match them as well. Beth says, hi Becky, you've got this awesome job. Around here, we would say she needs a shot of whiskey. That'd be nice. I do have to drive home, but yeah, why not? Charlotte Everett says, good afternoon, all my crafty lovelies from here in Herne Bay. And Lynn says, I have a wheat-free diet, so going to get the bread maker to make bread with coconut flour. All that glitter paste spreading has made me look for a bread solution. Coconut flour, that sounds delicious. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Lots of you liking the card. It's not my design, it's all Jan, but thank you very much anyway. I'm not going to accept any accolade, it is all Jan. So that is using the, these little bauble ornament corner dies here. So I'll put that one to one side. Right, get moving with the next one. So the next thing we're going to be looking at are the, what do we call them? Floral spray stamp and die set. Okay, let me just tidy up. I'll work my way around, get rid of everything here. What was that? I shouldn't be tidying up. What, over there? Don't go over there to the presenter while I tidy up. We need some of that tumbleweed to be rolling around, you know, like they do when, oh my goodness, what's that? Who's that? Oh, there's our tumbleweed, otherwise known as Brent. Thanks, Brent. Where would we be? Well, soon we will be here without Brent, because Brent is leaving and it's very sad, and we're all going to miss him, but we're all going to turn up at his new job, I think. And quiz him for stuff. Right, these ones, I'm going to show you these. So these are the stamp and die sets. The first one here is your Bring Out the Bells here. So you can see you're going to be getting the dies to cut around the large stamp. You're also going to be getting the die to cut around the smaller stamp, and you're going to be getting some sentiments. Now, the great thing about these is the dies come in 2 pieces, or the die for the large one. So you can cut out on one side, or you can cut the whole thing out completely. So that gives you a lot of versatility, and that's what I like about our products, because we do give you lots of different options about things to use. The next one is your Winter Blessings, which is very pretty, almost like a Christmas rose kind of feel, Helleborus kind of plant that you've got there. Again, you've got your sentiments as well as your large die and a smaller die as well as the stamps. The next one is your festive poinsettia. Everyone loves a poinsettia at Christmas, apart from cats. Do you know they're poisonous to cats? Again, use this information, Becky. Next one here we have is a Christmas bow. Now, you saw a beautiful demo earlier on today that Jan did with that one. This one is your festive banner. Like that, being able to put your sort of sentiments inside that banner. And then finally, we've got Cozy by Candlelight. It makes you think about sort of sitting down, watching a film, glass of mulled wine, whole container of Quality Street all to yourself. That's what I reckon. Quality Street. Do you not think Quality Street? No, what's your chocolate of choice in the gallery? No, at Christmas. Oh, celebrations. Yes, celebrations are quite key. This one I love. I think the colours here are absolutely beautiful. You've got a really lovely kind of creamy coloured Christmas rose. And with this one, it's being used as a gatefold card. Like I said, we've got these 2 different dies. So you can cut across one side, or you can cut the whole thing out. And that gives you all that versatility to be able to do something like that. Or, like this one, cutting out the whole shape in one. So that's quite nice. That's still festive bow. This one, show you some ones that you didn't see earlier today. This one with the bells here. That's a beautiful one. Different colours in that, very sort of vivid and rich colours in here. I'm just going to keep on changing different sizes just to make it really difficult in the gallery. For fun, for fun. This one here, using different colours actually. Using that bright blue with that kind of biscuity colour works really well. Like that one. This one here with candlelight, using our tri-blends to colour them in. Obviously, you can choose the different types of mediums that you're going to be using for colouring in there. I know we talked about asking Jan earlier on about difference between illustrators. I know to just have a quick word with her about that beforehand. Jan was saying, I mean, we tend to use the tri-blends because they because you've got those 3 different colours in there, but the illustrators are a great pen to use, but you'll only have one colour. So you just need to sort of plan your colours, build up your understanding about blending the colours. So we sort of said, so I suppose tri-blends are the kind of pen you would use when you're starting out doing your colouring, and then you progress towards the illustrators afterwards. But that's not to say you can't use your illustrators. Definitely you can use your illustrators. I would recommend downloading some of those little details we have on the website with our colour collections, and you can colour in these little charts, and then you can then sort of plan exactly what you're going to be doing with all of your colours. That would be my recommendation. And then this final one, using a piece of craft card here. Lost that little piece here. Using a piece of craft card and some pencils. Now I was saying earlier on we had one of the penguins that had been coloured like this, and it gives it like a more vintage kind of feel, like a homemade drawn kind of feel, but again something very achievable for anyone, even if you're new to colouring. This whole collection is just £26 or $30. Platinum price is £22.80 or $24. Maybe Brent can be my on-air helper. Unfortunately, Brent is really busy outside. I don't know, Brent, will you help me?
What do you need?
He's just ignoring me. What do I need to know? Are you gonna be my helper? He's too busy. He's too busy. That's just one of those things. I'm just at the bottom of the pecking order as far as everyone else is concerned. I don't know. Right, we're going to get started on this. You're looking to see if I've got a helper.
No, I was looking to see if you actually need help.
I don't need any help. Well, I do need any help. I do need help. Right, we're going to make an easel card, and we're going to be using the ones which I haven't got out. Becky, you're so disorganised. Right, I need this one. Not that one, not that one, that one, this one. I'm going to use Winter Blessings. That was the one that I showed you on that card in that cream, kind of a Christmas rose kind of image. Now with these, you'll get your dies. So you can see here, you've got those dies and you've got these stamps. So you've got this large stamp here. That one's there so you can see it properly. You've got the large stamp here. You've got your sentiments, and then you've also got this smaller stamp. But with the die set you're going to be getting, you do have the smaller die for cutting out that smaller stamp. And then you have the dies here for cutting around the edge of these larger dies. So it allows you that flexibility to just cut with all of them and cut the whole thing out, or cut just part of it, which is really nice to be able to have that opportunity to do that. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to cut one of each. We're going to cut one of the smaller ones, and we're going to cut one of the larger ones after we have stamped them. So, get some pieces together. Let's have a look. Who else is missing? Brent's presented before, and he was fabulous. He was fabulous. He is fabulous. But he is actually. I do laugh, but he is actually really quite busy out there. Though I am taking the mickey out of him, but he is actually quite busy. Right, I need some Nina cardstock. Where are you? And I need a stamping platform as well. I'm a big fan of the stamping platform. I have to be honest, when I first started stamping, I got stamps like this, and I thought, oh, what do I do with them? Like that? Do I do it like that? And obviously that's not the way to go. I didn't realise the difference the stamping platform would make, but actually I couldn't be without it now. It really is absolutely key. I'm going to cut my card down because I have got a little bit, it's a little bit too big. So let's cut a piece like that. And again, you know, if you are having problems with your stamping or with your, you know, with your work or using your ink pads, there is a wealth of information out on the website. But it is the key thing I think I've taken from everybody's comments is that it's having the right product, it's having the right paper or card, having the right ink pads, and having the right type of medium to colour with. That is really key. So we've got that on there. I'm just going to do them one at a time. So I could put this one down here as well, but I think I'll just do one at a time. And I'm going to use the Spectrum Noir pens. So I need an alcohol-proof ink. So I'm going to be using, I'm going to use Pebble here on, it's my personal choice. So just make sure you've got plenty of ink on here. And obviously the nice thing about having the stamping platform is the fact that if you do need to re-ink it, you can absolutely do that. Go in and press from the top rather than the sides. And just make sure you've got everything pressed down. And then if it hasn't taken, like that one, we still need to do a couple more presses on that. I can still pop that down with the same amount of ink. We haven't put any extra ink on, and press again. And then if we do need to put more ink on it, again, it's not going to be a problem. So again, a little bit more ink. Okay. There we go, right. Now, oh, that's a bit blurred. Do you know what, I'm going to do that again. I'm not happy with that. I think I jigged it about too much. So, again, try it again. I want to be happy with what I do. I think we all do, don't we? That'll fit in there fine. Right. I love this. I'm at work. I've been at work, as you know, for 8 days. My children are still trying to FaceTime me on a show. It's like they don't know what I do. Should I get them on the show? My daughter would love to do it, actually. Yeah, she would really love to be on the show. Should I just say? Should I? Yeah, maybe she could do that. My niece actually was really keen on coming up, but it's quite a long way for her to come. We did try and organise it, and I think at some point she will come. So she's doing textiles and fashion at college, and she wants to be a fashion designer. So to do something with regards to soft craft is definitely the way to go. There we go, that's much better. A little bit more ink on that one. Over here, I think we're okay, more or less. Okay, make sure that's in the right place. There we go, that's much better. So what we're going to do here, I'll give that a bit of a wipe before it all... so what we want to do is we want to colour this with our pens, and we also want to cut it with our dies. So I'm going to cut it first rather than spend a lot of time cutting it and colouring it and then finding that I've cut it incorrectly, which wouldn't be unusual for me, let's be honest. These dies, you'll see that you've got a cutting edge which is slightly raised in the centre. So we know that that is going to be the piece that goes around the outside. And we just want to line everything up. So if I put that like this, like that, there, you can see how that's coming together. In fact, actually, it's going to just cut that top edge. Well, I had not actually put it round correctly, but that's not going to be a major issue. And you can see that these match up perfectly. So these are the two dies, but they are going to match up perfectly to cut that whole piece out. I'm going to put that onto my plate, and I'm going to tape down one piece at a time rather than trying to put them both together at the same time. So let's do this like that. Make sure I've got it in the right place. So just spend a little bit of time making sure it's all lined up. Okay, just like that, down here. Isn't it funny when I'm concentrating that I can't talk? There you go, unusual for me. And then this piece goes, let's go round, go this way. There we go, like that. You see how that fits together in those two ends? So say that top piece is probably going to be cut off very slightly, but it doesn't matter. I can still make it work. And then this one here. So if we were going to be just using one of those edges, you can see how you're going to put that together, and that's great, the fact that we've given you those two separate pieces there in your die. So pop that through the machine. And see how that comes out. Okay, there we go. Just that tiny little bit down there. Just you might need to trim that and not quite line that up, but you can see it's just a scant amount here. So you can see how that comes out. So we just need to and line it up so you get your nice sort of cutting edge just around the edge, so you just get that sort of scant kind of border around your printed item, no, a stamped item rather. So we're going to put that to one side, and we are going to grab some pens in just a second. I'm just going to tidy this up, grab some pens, and I will do a little bit of colouring on this, because we wanted it to, if I look at the details that Jan has left me, we're using this kind of paper pad here. So is that the Snow Queen one with those kind of beautiful turquoise colours? So we want those kind of similar colours in the design. So I'm just going to quickly grab, I think I want a jade green, and I think I want a blue turquoise. I think, therefore I am. So those are what I'm going to use. I'm going to pop a little piece of craft card underneath, just so it doesn't, the inks don't go through. And we'll just do a little bit of colouring here for the moment. So we're going to do, I think, the jade green on the leaves. So we're going to start with the lightest colour first of all. I'm just going to lay down that colour here, all the way through on that leaf. And then go in with the darker colour along the veins of the leaf, and then underneath those little berries. And then with the mid-tone, we're going to work our way over through the majority of this leaf until we get towards the end. And then we are going to go back in with our lighter colour to get that shading on there. And then with the flowers, we want to have, I'm going to use the lightest turquoise, and I just want to have a little bit of colour coming from the centre. Colour this bit in here. Just following those lines in that lightest colour here. And then maybe with mid-tone, just going over in that centre. Again, maybe these little berries in those colours here. I think Jan actually has picked these out in a little bit of that glitter glue that we had on the earlier show, which is a gorgeous item to have as well. This one around here, we'll just do a couple of little shading around here, around the edge of those petals. And again in the centre. With a darker tone in the middle. And you can blend these out if you've got one of those blending pens as well. You could blend these out. Actually, it looks quite nice with a little bit of very light grey. If I can find a tiny bit of light grey. Light grey, light grey, light grey. It's not talking to me. It's quite weird being here on my own and no one can hear me. No one can hear you scream. So a little bit of light grey around here as well, maybe. That picks out those different tones. Any questions? Send them in. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but I can try. Look, have we got any questions at all coming through? I don't think we have at the moment. Everyone's fascinated by my card making skills is what it is. That's what I reckon. There we go. So you can see the type of thing that we were going to do on this. Oh, that's one. I should have been doing this one, shouldn't I? That's the one I was going to be using. So you can see how I'm doing it. So that one's been cut out. Now I'm going to bring in the ones that Jan has already done. So she's already created these for me. And she's put some little gemstones. I love the fact that Jan puts gemstones on everything. And actually the colour-wise, you would have thought with these you'd be using like the more traditional sort of reds and creams colours, but actually in these kind of frosty colours, they look absolutely beautiful and go really well with the paper pad that we're using on this particular one. So we're going to start putting everything together. So we've got my card here, my card blank. It is 11.5 by 5 3/4, and it's been scored at 2 3/4 and also at 5 3/4 to create this. So we're going to make a little easel card, and we're just going to start putting everything together. So we've got the various bits of various aspects of it. So this is going to be your piece that's going to go on the back of your easel card. So it's going to go like here. I'm going to pop that onto another piece of white card to give it a bit more stability and also to finish it off correctly. I'm going to place that on there and matte layer that, and then that's going to be attached onto here. I'm going to use this piece down here at the base. So you can see Jan has used some of that beautiful sort of very dark midnight blue Centura pearl, and then this is a kind of iridescent glitter card that she's got here, which is very pretty. She has gutted it to try and make the most of it, which is brilliant. I always think that that is such a waste when we use up so much card, and obviously it makes everything a little bit heavier, doesn't it? So we're going to use some of our Floral all-purpose glue, and I will stick these two pieces together. That. So we did hear some sad news at the end of the last show. Professor Dumbledore has passed away. Michael Gambon has passed away, which is very sad. He's a great actor. He often plays quite a baddie actor, I think, in films. Obviously, with the Harry Potter ones were not the case, but lots of others, he's played those sort of baddie characters. We've got that one there, and that's going to go just here. And I'll put this one at the bottom. Which way round is that? That goes that way. Almost put that upside down. That would have been a disaster. So just lining up. That's so it's in a nice shape. And then give it a rub on the back just to seal it all. Okay. And then that's going to go like that. I want to attach that piece on there. Now I do want to make sure that I've got all of this in the right place. So this is on some foam pads. I think we will have this like that. So you're almost looking through the flowers towards the fairy tale castle, and then that can go up on the top like that. And so put these in place first. So let's get that. I will use some of our tape pen actually, so it dries quicker across here. And then we want to line that up like that. What paper pad did I say this was from? I think it's a Snow Queen. I think. They could have just told me. I think I did say I thought it was a Snow Queen first of all, but yes, Snow Queen. Do we have that in stock still? We'll have a look for you. So we're going to use this as the stopper down here. Again, tape on the back. The 12 by 12 paper pad is available. It's very pretty actually. It's very, I mean, have we ever had a paper pad that I didn't think was pretty? Nope. I think they've all been absolutely beautiful. But I quite like these muted tones in here. I like a foresty kind of feel. I'm doing very well with this tape. What's this called? Foam on a strip. Foam on a strip. Foam on a strip. We're not singing the song because it's only me in here. And yeah, a Snow Queen and 12 by 12 paper pad is still available for you. This is Becky, you're not doing very well with this. I don't know, there you go. Right, so we've got a couple of gems on there. So let's just make sure that's in the right place. I think we want it around about here, like that. That works for me. And then we will pop these pieces on here. So as I say, we've got a little bit of glitter glue on here, and we've also got some gemstones. Mary Ann said, Jan's design for this card is lovely. It is lovely. You're absolutely right. Always very inspiring. Actually, all the crafty experts are really inspiring. But I don't often see Jan, and I obviously have seen her twice in 8 days, which is unusual, but really nice because I think everyone brings something new. They have a different idea, a different way of using a particular project. So we had that very much so with Sheena, and I've not met Sheena before, so it was my first time with Sheena, and again, very inspiring demos. It makes you look at your products, and a lot of us have the same products at home. It makes us look at them in a different way. That one up the top there, like that. And I've got a sentiment, but I think I want the sentiment down here, don't I? I think that needs to go down here. So I'm going to take that off. If you just wondered why I'm giggling, it's because I dropped my pokey tool on the floor. I say dropped, I threw it practically. I'm just going to place that there. So that is raised up. There you go. All done. Little easel card using those beautiful floral stamp and spray stamp and die set. There we go. Well done, Jan. Another one, you've done well. Right, let's pop that one to one side. So we've got 2 so far. Right, the next one we're going to have a look at, we're going to look at some more of those Christmas corners because they are really a lovely sort of set of dies that you're getting there. I'm going to clear up a little bit because I'm conscious that I'm making a mess, and I will grab the next one that I need. This one I'm going to use I think it's called Jolly Holly. Is it called Jolly Holly or Holly Festive Foliage? Can't remember what it's called. This next one. Just put those to one side. I'm going to I want to do some more of the entwined holly. Jolly Holly was the stencil that we had over the last couple of days that I've been here. We're going to use this one. So this is your entwined holly. Again, each of these Christmas corner dies, you're going to be getting 2 different types of corners. You can use them together or you can use them separately, but I love that versatility that we've got here. And we're going to be using them with some Centura Pearl card in like it's a kind of, I don't even know what this colour's called actually. It's a really beautiful, glittery green colour. It's not glitter card, it's more of a Centura Pearl, but I'm not sure, don't remember seeing that, and I think it must come in a bundle. So I've not seen that one before in like the big packs. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be cutting these out of some of the cards that we've got here. So I'm just going to I'm just going to move these out the way. And I can tidy up later, can't I? Thank you very much, everybody, saying well done. It's not my design. I can't take full credit for it. And Jan did give me detailed instructions before she left So it's all Jan. Obviously, Jan's going to win demo of the day today, as rightly so, because she has created all of these demos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these. I'm trying to cut a couple, really, because I want to do. Actually, I don't want to do both of them. I only want to do that one. I want to cut that as 4 times out of this card. I'm only going to run through because obviously you're going to see me doing the other ones. But so we're only going to be using one of these corners, but you can use all of them together or separately. So again, normal sandwich. I'm going to use my low tack tape just to secure everything in place. And then your frosted plate, your magnetic shim, and then your outer plate over the top of that. And pop that through the machine. And then you can see, wow, how beautiful that is when that's cut out. Looks really good with all of those different glittery parts in them. There's a couple that just need popping out. But you can see how effective that is, and that cuts through so well. Let's be honest, it's quite an intricate die. And you saw how it cut out of mirrored card, Centura Pearl. It will cut out of glitter card as well. You possibly may need to use your metal shim in there if you're going to be using some glitter card. But you know, they cut really, really well. That's the difference between buying or getting dies that are manufactured cheaply, I think would be the term I would use. And like I say, I always think when you pick up a cheap die, when you're peeling it off the plastic, you can almost feel it buckle. So we wanted 4 of these to make our card. We're only going to cut one of those out for the moment. So I've already got some that are pre-cut. Now I'm going to bring the card in. So we have a large card. This is a 7.5 square card, so you can see it's quite a large card, and we've got some of our papers here. Which one is this one? Is this from that winter solstice? Yeah, winter solstice one, and some really lovely sort of dark olive green so linen cardstock that we've got here. So once again, Jan has gutted this out. We're just going to stick that on there. I always think it's worth, when you watch us on the shows, we very rarely gut out the card. And I think when you're at home, that's always something you want to do, because you want to make the most of your card, don't you? You don't want to be hiding huge amounts of it. And I always think it's quite good because it means your cards isn't that top heavy, which is the last thing you want. So let's pop that on there. And then once again, Jan has created a piece to go inside, and just cut a few strips of that linen cardstock as well as that patterned paper to finish it off. Again, really simple idea, but actually it looks super effective, doesn't it? And a great way of tying the front and the inside of your card together. So we're going to place this inside, and she's just finished off the edges with a little bit of ink. A little bit of glue down here, and pop that in place. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we've got a little piece of the linen cardstock, and that's going to form the focal point, or the matin layer of the focal point of the card. This is the card centre that Jan has already created. So she's already embossed the piece of cardstock here and used a little bit of washi tape, which is also embossed. Then she's cut out all of these different pieces using that holly and the ivy, and she's used some alcohol markers in here to create that different design. So you can see how effective that is. There's a few little pieces left for us to finish over here. So I'm going to go and grab a couple of pens just to see if I can try and match them up This will be interesting to see if I can match them up, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Let's have a look. Am I colourblind? Am I colourblind? No. But 75% of men are. Did you know that? Most men don't realise they are. That's all I'm saying. Let's have a look, see if I can match up the colour. That's not the right colour. That's not the right colour. Just looking for the right. That is definitely not the right colour. What on earth are you doing with that one? That looks like it could be the right green. And then we're going to go for that dark red colour. So hopefully this will more or less match here. So we're just using. It's always difficult when you're picking up other people's work, isn't it? Let's have a look here. Is that the right colour? Okay. It might not be exactly the right colour, but you can see what I'm doing here with these pens. Just making sure. Pop that on here, actually. Don't want that coming through. Just making sure I'm filling in, which makes it nice and easy, actually, doing it something like this. Using that sort of corner die as your outline, and then colouring with some of your alcohol markers. And then we will use dark red just to do the holly berries around here. I think it's a pretty good match as well, Nicola. There we go, around here, just to fill that in. There we go. That's more or less finished there. Now we want to put this matting layer together. I'm going to pop that on there. So I'm going to put these two pieces together now. We've got a bit of red liner tape on here. Just give that a bit quick burnish, like that. And like this around here. Valerie says you're doing great going solo. Well done. It's always, do you know it's not the crafting that is weird, it's the fact that there's no one here to talk to, apart from the people in my head. And they don't always answer back. Nicola always answers me. Well, Nicola and I we're planning on doing a bit of a sewing thing, weren't we? We're going to be making a dress in between shows, and we talked about it for about 6 weeks now. And never had any time in between shows to have a go. Right, we're going to use a little bit of my glue just to secure that all around. And we are not far off finishing this card. So pop that in the middle. And then we've got a sentiment here, which is going to go in the centre. But what we've done is when we cut out those other pieces, and we use that sort of very pretty sort of Centura pearl type green, we're going to use these as a little accent over the top just to finish all of those off. So I'm going to quickly put those through and just put a little bit of dotty tape pen on the back of these, just very gently, and to make sure I don't rip any of the designs. You could use low tack tape, you could use some of your adhesive spray if you want to do that, or if you've got a Xyron machine, you could of course use that as well. So we're just going to line those up. You could use them, you could do a drop shadow if you wanted to, or just line them up to go straight over the top. There we go. So it just makes it pop a little bit more having those on the top there. And then this next one, again, we're just going to do exactly the same thing all the way around. So we've used 4 of these corner dies, and they're all exactly the same, all going all the way around the edge. But of course, you could use the other ones. That is the great thing about getting 2 dies in each pack. And these ones down here. Rhonda says, you're doing a great job, Becky, and it's almost over. Got 5 minutes left in show. Like I say, it's always nerve-wracking when you're doing it completely on your own. But like you say, I'm amongst friends. There you go. next one, and then we've got one final one here, and the sentiment to put in it as well. Okay, we'll just take off the foam pads off the back of here. What collection is the embossing folder from? I don't know. Does anyone know in the comments? Does Nicola, do you know? It looks like a veiny leaf. I don't know. It might have to be something that we find out from Jan directly. It wasn't something I asked actually when we were having a quick handover. I'm sorry about that. But actually, to be honest, any of the embossing folders will work because it only has to be a feeling, doesn't it? It's not the focal point of the card. But there you go. We've got another card here using those Christmas corner dies as well. Okay, we're going to do a quick vote. We just get everything together. So we've got the first one using the corner dies. They were the ones with the little Christmas ornaments in them. Then we have this one using those floral stamp and die set. And then finally, we've got number 3, which is using that holly, the entwined holly, to create that different design. So get your votes in with number 1, number 2, or number 3. Oops. Which one would I vote for? That one, I have to say. That would be my favourite. Actually, I like them all. And that, I really like the idea of this one, making your own background and actually insetting those shapes. I think it's a nice idea. And that one, to be honest, is a really quick and easy card that anyone would be able to make. Even if you're just starting out, you'd be able to create that. No, but they're all lovely. They're all lovely, aren't they? Lovely, lovely. Right, let's put those to one side. Can I show the other one that Jan would have done, but we haven't got time for, because I think this is really lovely. Now this one is using the bell stamp, but what Jan has done here is she's actually stamped it using that watermark ink pad, which is a clear one, and then she sprinkled it over with silver embossing powder, which I can't find. She sprinkled embossing powder over the top of it, heat embossing powder, and then heated it. So you get that beautiful kind of foiled effect. And then in little places, she's put a little bit of colour using some pencils. And I know we've got is it the Aqua Blend pencils we've got on special offer at the moment. These ones are using the wax pencils, but yeah, you can use any of the pencils there and you get a really nice kind of muted kind of tone on this, which looks particularly pretty. So I didn't want you to miss out on seeing this one because I think that is really lovely. You can see when I hold it to the light, that kind of different figures that you get on there. Which looks really, really lovely. This collection, £32 or $43, £25.60 or $34.40. We're about finished for the show. I'm sure sorry it's been a short one. Jan will be back very soon, and I'll be back with Ben at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. So I won't be on my own. I'll still probably be talking a lot. But thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for all the kind messages. Lovely to see you all. Bye-bye.